Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise to see Kinnan here. Obviously, still pumping out mana, pumping out wins, and continuing to perform on a fantastic level. It starts off with a fish. Really great play to come out for the Kinnan here to set themselves ahead.
Fish and the diamond.
Definitely going to give them a lot here. As it is fish into fish. I mean, if you don't want to give these guys a ton of gas, you're definitely looking at this and going, okay, do I have to play things slow? And it can be definitely problematic. I think that Kenrith is really going to struggle with that.
Both Jenson and, to a lesser effect, Kenrith have these 1 mana cards that they can play that don't trigger the fish. They both run birds, they both run Deathrite Shaman, all these, the good stuff dorks. So we'll see whether they have that in their opening hand, but they do have some options to play around that fish.
I'd imagine if you're Pingmeister Pong here, you probably don't go for the fish the second time round, and then you play Kinnan.
Probably not. I feel like going for the fish the second time round, if we see that, it's not a great situation for them to be in. Still not the worst. Having fish is not bad, but yeah, it looks like they are electing to let it go.
But that Kinnan comes down, as we said, very important. And looking over towards this Sisay, very happy to just keep paying for that fish, probably indicating that their hand obviously doesn't have the land and could make things a little bit troublesome.
We might be seeing the pass here. Kind of unfortunate for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, obviously, but going to be the Gilded Drake coming through here. And, I mean, there's only one target, right? It's going to be that Kinnan. This is a really nice option, but very brutal for Pingmeister Pong.
Yeah, talking about could be worse. Like, this is pretty much worst case scenario for Pingmeister. Getting no second land, getting rid of the fish to develop out your Kinnan, and then suddenly your Kinnan is gone. All that hard work for nothing.
Here comes the Mana Vault that actually will trigger one of the fishes here, the one fish remaining here.
Fish finally getting some cards. Okay. Man, the rest of the table's really happy they took care of that Kinnan.
Yeah, managing to get it out of the way pretty darn quick, and meaning that Pingmeister Pong in a really difficult position, because it's not like it was removed. You can't play that Kinnan. You can't go for the Consecrated Sphinx, Nyx Bloom, Hullbreaker Horror, all those creatures that you can hit with a spin. I mean, you can't flip into them, simply put.
Yeah, you need to be able to bounce the Kinnan, because you're in a blue-green deck. You don't really have much in terms of creature removal, so it does really limit your options. Pingmeister Pong, known for being a grinder. We ought to shout out the name of their deck. John Walters is the GOAT. Happy birthday, Alex. So, want to give that shout out to Alex. We've got Kenrith getting out of Vamp Tutor. I don't know what exactly they're going to go for here. They've got a lot of options.
Now, this is always my check when I see a tutor. Check the number of artifacts and enchantments on the board. Right now, it is 4 on the opposing side of the board.
Well, there is something very important.
Oh, the Kinnan. Oh, yeah. Okay, this has to be Dockside, right? Might have been the Rhystic Study, which I think is similarly reasonable.
I really did not expect that much interaction from our Sisay player. I was expecting, like, okay, 1, maybe 2, but being able to play both of them, pretty insane. But we are seeing the Dark Rit come out. They do have mana available for Adnaz, which they are most certainly on. With an average mana value of 1.21? That's insane. They're going to be going pretty deep here.
The Mind Break trap coming through here.
It's gone.
That's brutal. That's so much invested. And I mean, now it's 2 players who have tried to go for something aggressive, and neither have managed to make it resolve. Really crucial piece again from Pingmeister Pong to stop Urski from going off with this Jenson with that Adnaz. Had exactly what they needed. No defense, right? I think very deft of Urski to try and go for that, right? Because so much interaction had been spent. I think it was worth going for that Adnaz. You have a really great position. You have extra mana up as well post Adnaz.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
But unfortunately, the gap wasn't actually there. But I think this really sets up the Sisay player to have a lot of success.
I expected it to get there, but what just happened right now proves that it wasn't going to get there anyways, as we have a Noxious Revival attempting to get that Rhystic back, and another piece of counter magic stopping the Noxious. Do they go for the Dockside here, or do they get another card? Notable thing about the Manglehorn, it does really impact Dockside. But there is Stonk's Lord dockside. Manglehorn really impactful into that Kenrith deck, being so reliant on dockside loops and having that just completely shut down with one card.
That's extra value as well, because obviously a lot of cards going away from that hand. That's going to be 3 out of the hand of the Kenrith player. And now they're lacking quite a lot. They invested a tutor as well to get to this point. And they just still didn't manage to land it. I think they're on 3 cards in hand now. And now that threat of still having the Kinnan on the board is at least somewhat diminished. So, obviously, Pingmeister Pong in a great position. Very much could win the game. If they don't, the Sisay player is in a really good position.
I think they might just be passing through, as we are seeing the Worldly Tutor here. I don't know if they're going to be searching for their own dockside, but if they are, it's going to be pretty large.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's dockside, because it is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be 8 treasures. But at the same time, again, it doesn't do anything right away.
Port of Calling, I think it's only for 3 mana, though. And the Phantasmal Image coming down here. I mean, a whole lot of people have a whole lot of treasures that they can't crack because it's tapped.
But do you know who doesn't have them come into play tapped? Pingmeister Pong. And that means that there are going to be 8 plus 4 plus 1. That is 15. That is 15 treasures coming into play.
That is an Eternal Witness because they really want that Rhystic Study. This is the 3rd time they're trying. So whether they're finally out of interaction or just being so gracious as to let them actually have a Rhystic Study, it does look like it is sticking.
You're like, whoa! All your Christmases have come at once.
Well, and you know what Pingmeister didn't have before? 7 mana. Do you know what 7 mana and has Flash? Hullbreaker Horror.
Do you know what's really nice about it? Is it can bounce Kinnan back to your hand.
True.
Sure, there's no Kinnan on your side of the field at the current moment, Pingmeister Pong, but there will be soon. Don't worry, buddy.
Looking like a really good spot here. They're going to be able to get Kinnan back.
Oh no, it's never truly gone.
And that looks like setting up for an easy win.
And again, a lot of these players investing interaction, and it feels like Pingmeister Pong is just going slowly grinding through it, because it feels like inevitability right now. Oh, this is not looking good.
They have had it all. It's been insane.
I think that's the 5th piece of interaction coming out of the Sisay deck. This is Brain Freeze.
I'm interested as far as what they have to follow up off of Brain Freezing themselves. They have access to 1 mana, I believe? No, that's a Guy's Cradle. They don't have access to any mana.
Can't even play Jenson this game. That's the really brutal part of this, right? The Jenson, because it's green and white, has not had both those colors available to them the entire game, even though they have a command tower in play.
That sucks.
I think it's really interesting to me because I said that Sisay lists are normally light on interaction, and then I went through and named a bunch of interaction that this list is playing. This list is on 17 instants, and nearly all of it is interaction outside of like 1, 2, 3 tutors. Everything else is interaction. That's 14 pieces of interaction. Like, there's so much in here that can be used effectively to try and deal with these problems. So, I really like it. It's always been a big thing for me. I look at these Sisay lists and go, where's the interaction, right? Obviously, they don't have to necessarily play it, but I like it when they do. Mainly because then they can counter things for me. And that is Sakashima. That's just casting the Sakashima. That's very nice. Copy Kinnan. The Veil of Summer. Going down to 6 treasures. There's not a lot of mana. That is the one thing. Oh, no, but if you're copying the Kinnan, that's not the problem.
They can get the Tyvar. They can get the Selvala.
They found it. They found the Selvala. I believe that's it. I'm not entirely sure.
I think people are talking through. Yeah, showing the combo, walking through, talking through, and yeah, the whole table does in fact scoop.
All of this interaction was invested to try and stop Pingmeister Pong, but we saw it. We saw the writing on the wall. Those 8 treasures sitting in the back pocket.
Very well piloted. Good for them for being able to pilot this.
Yeah, brilliantly done.
A huge thank you to all of our patrons. We couldn't do any of this without you, and we are so grateful for your support. Remember to like, follow, share, and subscribe, and if you like playing cEDH with a great group of players, come join us in the Ka0s League and play for cash prizes every month. The league is open to all players and skill levels, starting at our $5 patron tier. Never played cEDH before? That's okay too, we love new players, and we're always excited to brew up interesting and new strategies with our newcomers. After all, Romanian philosopher Emil Cioran once said, "Chaos is rejecting all you have learned. Chaos is being yourself." So come by our Discord and bring the spice. We'll be waiting for you there.